Good Monday morning. Welcome to Neil's Han Dynasty. It's 4:40 in the morning here. I'm fixing to go to work. Be kind, helpful, and grateful. Buy some silver. Most importantly, get a hold of some platinum for a short period of time. And this is why. This is also why BRICS is going to fail. Listen closely to the S in BRICS. Hold on a second here. I'm going to get the volume going here so you guys can hear this stuff.
In terms of energy crisis, but we've got one in South Africa. And of course, in a country that's not very safe in its urban areas, I mean, if you're not in the position to keep your lights on, if you can't lock the door or use the security system, this is a worrying development. The president there has called a state of emergency, blackouts, shortages, the whole box and dice.
Load shedding every day, Peter, and unfortunately we're seeing more load shedding in Australia. But generally it's with heavy industry, so most of the people out there don't see it. But imagine being stuck in a lift, if you're in a hospital that needs emergency surgery. To be honest, if you're trying to do anything, just trying to stay employed, have a job, keep your factory running, it'd be virtually impossible. And yet in Australia, we're heading down the same path. If you don't have reliable and affordable energy, whether it's electricity or gas or others, well, your economy will be damaged, your reputation will be damaged. And as I said earlier, I mean, that story in the Fin Review that the Resources Minister for Labor will potentially have the ability to stop gas exports for a quarter without written permission, that is just damaging for Australia's reputation.
And Gary, the New South Wales Minerals Council, we're in the sort of weeks out now from election there on the 25th of March. They're saying to both the opposition leader and the Premier, forget us at your peril.
And rightly so, because look, Peter, it's a bit like borrowing from that South African example. The people who are going to be hurt the most by power blackouts are going to be the poorest people. The people who cannot afford to actually face the cost of living because they're living from not even paycheck, pension check to pension check. Some of them don't even have a roof over their heads. I mean, there's 40,000 couch surfing in southeast Queensland again tonight. So, New South Wales is facing a genuine peril if they go down this woke green left Labor agenda, which seems to be what's going to happen, all about keeping the inner city elites happy, but not about dealing with the real issues in the western suburbs and indeed regional and rural New South Wales and Australia. And Peter, it's the people in the regions that are going to suffer even greater because they're the first ones that are going to lose power. You mark my words.
And just to underscore your point, $17 billion, it's a record, was pumped into the New South Wales economy from mining last year. Now, if you reckon you can run an economy and replace that $17 billion on baristas and nail bars in Sydney CBD, you are kidding.
Got the Chris Bowen, you can.
I'll leave it there, gentlemen. I see. Wow. Bowen's got the record on votes too. Look at that front bench. Tony Burke and Chris Bowen, both failed immigration ministers. Bowen, the worst in Australia's history, and now he wants to do that to our energy sector. Got to leave it there, gentlemen. We can go on.
All right, well, there's a little bit more about Australia going the same way as South Africa, but South Africa is worse than rolling blackouts, and as you just heard the lady say about in the mines in Australia, in this one Queensland area bringing $17 billion, and they're looking at cutting power. Really? How are you going to replace that revenue? How are you going to do all this? I mean, it's crazy. And BRICS, I mean, South Africa, do your research. South Africa, like the lady said on the show, there has already gone down that road, and they're facing blackouts and companies leaving because they can't run without power. That's not the best thing in the world when you're trying to start a world reserve currency to have your country out of power. I'm just saying, everything sounds good in words, but you see what's happening here? Words are hot air. It's action that matters, and the action of South African government is crushing their country and going to bankrupt them. That's part of BRICS. You'll find out China's going down the same road. Brazil's going to go down the same road. China, Brazil, South Africa, yeah. India and Russia are pretty safe out of BRICS. Oh yeah, and Iran's joining BRICS. There you go. That's a country you want to back. Anyhow, you guys really do your research. Think smart. right now you need to, in my personal opinion, get up on the minerals, your silver, your gold, your platinums. Yeah, you can invest in stocks and whatnot, sure. But if you don't hold it, you don't own it, right? So the only real safe investment that I see is something that you can stick in your pocket and walk around with, because everything else is getting a little crazy. But anyhow, that's my personal opinion as a 10th grade dropout. You guys have a great day.